Okay, so I bought an IKEA workbench, but wait, don't click away yet. I'm going to modify the bejesus out of it to redeem myself before the woodworking gods. I specifically needed a hardwood workbench for reasons I'll explain later in the video, but hardwood is expensive and unfortunately I'm working with a strict budget. Before I start assembling the bench, I need to modify a few parts. You just have to trust me, I have a plan. These pieces of scrap wood will act as noggings to support the drawers. I chose these drawers because they were the cheapest metal mesh ones I could find. That might end up being a theme in this video, but honestly I'm trying not to spend a fortune on this workbench. Once I've screwed the noggings and drawer rails into place, it's time for a professional structural rigidity test. Applying 120 newtons to each screw. It passes with flying colours. Next up, caster wheels. They're too big for the legs, so I pull out this piece of oak left over from my kitchen build 7 years ago. Yep, I kept it in the shed all this time just in case I'd need it. Who's laughing now? Now, this part was tedious. 24 holes, 20 screws and 4 threaded inserts. That's all it took to attach the wheels to the legs. Anyway, a quick coat of linseed oil and a zap with the drill later, and the legs were ready. The next day, I set out to assemble the workbench. In all honesty, it didn't take more than an hour, although I did mess up a couple of times. For some reason, I keep forgetting the shelves. You can see my sincere emotions in this clip when I noticed this. When it was time to assemble the drawers, my laptop died, so I lost access to the instruction manual. That meant I had to do the rest by feel. For some reason, I didn't mess up the drawers. But little did I know, the workbench manufacturer had done all the messing up at the factory for me. I mean, look at the size of this hole. My drunk uncle with one eye wouldn't have missed this if he was drinking next to the conveyor belt. Anyway, some super glue did the trick. But this drawer must be cursed. The handle's threaded inserts were missing too, so I just casually pulled out the cocktail sticks I bought back in 2009 and plugged the holes with them. I screwed the handle into the drawer, installed the second vise, and put in the cheapo mesh drawers. But no, we're not done yet. We haven't even started the modifications. This bench needs a proper power socket for the tools, and a power socket needs a wall to rest against. You see where this is going? Yep, these 2 pieces of scrap wood are the wall. So I drilled into one of them using an impact driver. I realised pretty quickly how dumb of an idea that was, but I finished the hole anyway. Anyway, top tip, drill with a drill, drive with a driver. Honestly, someone could make a 15-minute YouTube video just about that. Oh, never mind. Next, I gouged out a hole with the power chisel and cleaned it up with the acoustic chisel. This hole is where the electrical connections will slot in. Then my certified electrical installer friend showed up and even put on my outfit for continuity purposes. He opened up the main switch, cut the outfeed cable in half and then just closed the switch again. Weird chap. Anyway, he clicked the cables into these little plastic thingies. Must have been really excited about the clicking sounds because he randomly drilled 2 holes in the bench leg afterwards. Oh. Watching this footage makes me feel violated for some reason. Can you guys relate, or is it just me being weird? Anywho, we called it a day and went to the pub, as you do. When we got back, my NICE certified friend torqued the terminals to 0.45 Newton meters and gracefully installed the power socket. That's where I stepped in to test its structural performance. Then I set out to install the dust extraction, only to notice the mess my friend had left behind. Hold on a sec. Another graceful display of workmanship, this time by me. I may have oversized this hole a bit, you know, to give the air somewhere to escape. Technically, I'm trained to calculate the size of these openings, but honestly, I think I'm like a terrier. You can teach me tricks, but there's no guarantee I'll follow them when it matters. Chaps, we've got power! That's probably the only time you'll ever hear a hint of excitement in a construction site manager's voice. I learned this tool storage trick from a YouTube channel, but I can't seem to remember who the legend was. So you just grab a medium-sized copper wire and bend it to your heart's content, then screw it wherever you want. And Bob's your, well, I'm not going to get into your family relationships, but just look at it. It's genius. Honestly, you could make a 10-minute YouTube video about... Anyway, this is a first on YouTube. Someone put a fixed lighting fixture to their workbench. I wonder who that is. Oh, it's me. Since I am not a tool salesman, I'll get rid of this horse branding jobby real quick. Okay, let's recap. We've got power, dust extraction, caster wheels, lighting and 2 additional drawers. The workbench already comes with 2 vices, tool well and dog holes. I'll build more storage, but I need to sort out a power tool area beforehand. I need a poor man's bandsaw and a router table as a minimum, and they both have to fit in this footprint. Let's start with bandsaw or router combo table first. This leftover piece of oak would make the perfect frame for it. The only issue is that oak is an extremely hard wood, meaning that it is prone to splitting, so nothing heavy-handed is allowed for a while. I'll do my best. So why do I have to have a hardwood workbench? Well, because if it were softwood, every time I sneezed, the surface would look like it went through a woodpecker convention. Hardwood can take a beating. Chisels, hammers, and even those times when you accidentally drop a clamp in frustration. Softwood, it's more forgiving than your mates when you skip buying around. Long story short, this is a family area where a workbench is not welcome, but an atelier is. Everything is welcome when it is French, except for the French puns. They'll casually throw one out, and you'll be sitting there thinking, did that just happen, or am I now legally obligated to laugh? Anyway, I'm drilling holes for dowels. Actually, I drill the wrong side first. Whoops. But it's fine. I'll just plug them with dowels and pretend it was all part of the plan. Classic move, right? And clamp the glued frame with the help of bench dogs. Because who needs a second pair of hands when you have bench dogs? They might not fetch your slippers, but they'll definitely hold things down for you. The resident cat, on the other hand, is on guard duty already. Now I can sleep in peace knowing I am safe. From... mouse? I start the new day with some sketchy wood cutting on the poor man's bandsaw. For good reason though, these brackets are going to help adjust the bench top height. There is one issue though. This is too bulky. I'll trim it by 2 index fingers length. Let's quickly check it in 3D. Yep, perfect. This power tool is quickly becoming my partner in crime. I'm open to name suggestions. Windsor was one I considered, but I'm not exactly sure yet. Now you know the drill. Sorry for the terrible joke, but I'm doing the same thing all over again. The only difference is that the frame is shorter this time. New day, new frame. Let's cut it to size quick and sort the bench top. I am not cutting chipboard indoors though. Actually, I should probably just use the leftover MDF from the dining table project, but I am already committed now. I am acting like British politicians during Brexit process, aren't I?
You will lose so much money.
We made our decision.
The whole country will burn to the ground.
We made our decision.
first 4 screw holes are for tying the bench top to the frame. Threaded inserts are for height adjustment. Good as new. Next, I'm drilling holes into the frame and the workbench to tie them together. I have these M10 leftover bolts from another project, you see. Anyway, I drill 3 8-inch holes for a tight fit on both the workbench and the frame. I mark the hole locations and drill the workbench accordingly, but I run into an issue. The leftmost bolt decides to be difficult and ends up in the tool well. Brilliant. Now, I'll have to drill an access hole from underneath, just so I can tighten the bolt. Because, of course, it couldn't be easy. In order to avoid drilling through the tool well, I need to modify this drill saw thingy. But hang on, someone's at the door. Back in a sec. Oh, it was the People's Mail of China. Let's do a quick unboxing. Because who doesn't love a surprise package moment in the middle of woodworking? So, this is a trimmer guide flattening combo. Pretty neat, right? Don't worry, we'll definitely see this in action later in the project. Anyway, back to modifying the drill saw thingy. I've got a cable clip here, so I'll nick its nail and stuff it in the chuck. Good enough, right? Oh, look at that wobble. This is going to be fun. Is that smoke coming out of the tool well? Anyway, let's just act like we didn't see anything. Denial is a perfectly valid woodworking technique. Right? Now, both the workbench and the frame are ready for their grand wedding. Of course, I'm struggling with the bolts a bit here. Guess why? Obviously, I can't find the 16mm socket, so I'm using an 11/16 spanner instead. Honestly, I have so much sympathy for our American cousins at this point. The only reason we call them cousins must be because we share the same pains. Otherwise, let's face it, we'd call them West Russia. Oh, metalwork, my favourite. Anyway, router table is ready. Let's make a fence to go with it. You know the drill by now. Scrap MDF cut with poor man's bandsaw and glued together to make an L shape. This fence needs to ride on something, so I got these aluminium tracks from China Mart. And actually, I am pretty sure there is an easier way to inlay a track into furniture board. But this is what I did. Sticked 2 pieces of ply on either side of the track with double-sided tape and followed with the template bit. Alright, time to put the router insert into the frame I made earlier. This should be straightforward, which of course means it absolutely won't be. Let's see how many surprises this step has in store for me. But of course, there's a bolt in the way, because why wouldn't there be? It's okay, I'll just gouge the underside of the insert. Let's screw this into place. Yep, It just broke loose. I'll let Mr. Superglue to sort this issue. Only a 15-minute setback. So I call this a success and move on to making a bottom drawer for larger tools and hardware. So the bottom of the bench is empty space, making the perfect candidate for a large drawer. Of course, I'm making the drawer out of the bottomless pile of scrap MDF. Seriously, this stuff multiplies. I could build a whole second workbench out of it. But let's start with a drawer and see where we end up. Drawer done. Onto the drawer rails. These used to be parts of my router sled, not anymore. If you've noticed, I haven't spent a penny on this drawer so far, and I'm not about to start now. Tradition is tradition. Let me come clean with you. This was originally designed with plywood. Then I revised it with MDF because I ran out of scrap ply. That meant changing the jointing method from grooves to screws because, well, MDF. All good, right? Wrong. This little revision added an extra 10 mil in height, which I didn't account for. And now, of course, the drawer doesn't fit by 3 mil because of me. Which is fine. It's a 5-minute fix with a circular saw. I just wanted to take a moment to show how quickly things can go south in woodworking. Lesson learned. Do the critical tasks in the morning when your brain is still functioning. Save the afternoon for the jobs any monkey can do, like sanding and cleaning. So what we have so far, an emergency power button thingy, 2 basket drawers for hand tools, caster wheels, lighting fixture, a tool well, 2 vices with bench dogs, a router table with adjustable fence, fixed dust extraction, 3 drawers for various power tools, 1 large drawer and space for scraps, measuring tools and hammers. I'll wrap up the video as part 1 of 2 because it seems like this will become an ongoing project. In the next one, I'll focus on more gadgets as they make life easier. See you in the next one. Cheerio.